Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So first off, go ahead and do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also set your bell notifications so you're notified every time I post a new video. It really helps me out, so I really appreciate it, y'all. Last time where we left off, I was putting in the rear seal of the transmission, and I took the drive shaft out in order to do that, because you have to do that. Here is the drive shaft. I ended up ordering new U-joints. I got one for the front and I got one for the back. Really hoping they fit. It's kind of hard to find. I went with like their recommendations from Summit Racing, spoke with someone there, and it's like specifically what they recommended. I also had to end up getting these new little U-joint bolt kit because I cut the old one off, if you remember. Then I didn't have a headlight door set of screws for the passenger side, so I got that as well, so I can go ahead and reinstall the headlight door and the bezel and everything. But first, let's get these new U-joints into the drive shaft. Here's where we're at. So right now, I took the yoke out of the drive shaft because I was curious about all the sizes. This was the universal joint that was inside the yoke. Drive shaft connects to the transmission. And this is the one they sent me. Spicer, incorrect size, definitely. I mean, you can see how much bigger it is. Still incorrect size from the old one. They said that one was wrong. Summit Racing. Then they sent me this. You can tell this one is larger. This one they said was correct after talking on the phone with them, and that is not correct. Too big. So here's the thing. I called Summit Racing the other day, went through support with them, and they literally picked out these two universal joints for me, told me they would work, so I ordered them. They're both incorrect sizes. Called them back and said, hey, they're incorrect sizes. They looked it up. They said, oh, they are actually incorrect. They wanted to charge me return shipping, do a swap for a more expensive part is what they said would fit. So it was literally gonna cost me double the cost of what I paid originally, pretty much, to send these things back. Terrible customer service. Honestly, we'll probably not be ordering from them again. Highly recommend going with somebody else other than Summit Racing, maybe CJ Pony, Kentucky Mustang, even a local auto parts store, because that was just disappointing. Summit Racing just didn't come through for their mistake. They literally wanted to charge me to send the universal joint back. They told me maybe there's somebody local who will buy it from you. Like, what kind of customer service does that? That's shitty. So anyways, I digress. I need correct universal joints, and I don't know what sizes to get. All right, so I just went to a local auto parts store, and they had what I needed universal joint wise. So I picked up a Moog and then a Spicer. They both look like they'll work. I took my old ones in and we verified the measurements were all good. Everything was an exact match. Also, the guy there, it was kind of like a mom and pop place. The guy there knew old Fords, and even when I brought him in, put the U-joint down, he was like, is this for an old Ford? And I was like, he's like, a 60s Ford? And I was like, yeah, it is. It's for a 65 Mustang. He's like, okay, yeah, I know what you need. So it helps having people like that, way better than ordering online and then not knowing if it's gonna fit or work. So hopefully this works. Anyways, here we go. So as you can see, it was way easy to get the new U-joints in. They just popped right in. It was great. And then I locked them in. We're good to go. Also got this one in, and it is fantastic. Looks great, moves well. So I'm happy with that. This one they said was fine because it has edges for clips, but this is gonna get bolted in to the rear differential. And I'll grease them up again, even though they're already packed. I got some Molygraph all-purpose grease. We'll see, hopefully it works okay. Woo! Now I can move on to putting it in and then putting on the brakes. Just finished the universal joints and reinstalling the drive shaft. Finally, we can move on to the brakes. I just got in some front disc brakes from Open Tracker Racing. It's just the CSRP? I don't know. CSRP brakes, front disc brakes. Anyways, they're like the Granada style disc brakes for the front, and it came with it was a kit, so it came with the dual bowl master cylinder and then like braided brake lines and all that good stuff. So we're gonna do the front, and then after that we're gonna do the shoes on the rear brakes, because I ain't even taken them off and looked at the brakes yet. I don't know how bad it's gonna be, but we're gonna clean up the areas around. We'll do the front driver's side first, and then the passenger side, and then after that we'll put in the dual bowl master cylinder. I tried to take the top off the original single bowl master cylinder and could not get it off. It was like rusted C's on there. I have no idea what shape the brake lines are in, so we're gonna find out together. Fingers crossed. I don't know what we're gonna find. So anyways, let's jump in. So here's where we're at. When I was taking everything off, about to put on the brakes, I knew that I had some like crusty bushings and stuff that probably needed to be replaced, and I'm like, okay, I'll just throw on like a 1-inch sway bar and take care of all that at the same time. But you know, I want to get this thing on the road and driving, and it's not a necessity to replace that at the time. There's other bigger stuff that I'd like to replace that has to deal with safety issues, things like that, just to get it driving. So I'll do that eventually. So one thing I came across when taking everything apart is the strut rod mounting points here. Basically all those bushings are just shot. They're all crusty and broken and gross, as you can see. Yucky, yucky. So what I did is I hit up O'Reilly's and got these polyurethane bushings, which, I don't know, should be way better than what's on there now. And then while I was there, I also picked up some strut rod bushings as well, which I knew I needed, because those are also pretty crusty and musty and grody. Just got these little Master Pro. Let's replace those, and then we can continue with the brakes, because I'm just ready to put the new brakes on, get this thing rolling, but then also be able to stop it, because I don't want to fly through the garage wall. That would be bad news. But yeah, I'm just cleaning everything up around the wheel area, around the suspension components, so that way I can throw on some like rust inhibiting paint clean things up, replace some things around there. That's like cheap fixes, easy fixes that'll help out down the road. And then I can re-grease everything and we should be good to go. Probably put in some like rolling spring perches eventually. Also 1-inch sway bar as well. Gonna do all the things, but for now, I just want to get this thing on the road, running and driving, and all of those other parts are fine at the moment and will work and aren't necessary to drive. They just make things drive a little better, right, handling wise. And so yeah, we're gonna do all that. Gonna do the Shelby drop, gonna do new leaves in the back, probably a 1-inch drop there. Yeah, gonna do everything, but for now just want to replace these parts, so let's do it. Now that I got everything cleaned up and painted, yeah, we're looking a lot better. Also got my sway bar end link installed. We can start on the brakes. I just took everything out of the boxes that I got. Now I just got to look at the directions on how to install these. So let's do it. right, y'all, so I think that's where I'm gonna call it with this video. So just to recap what we got done, we did the front brakes, both front disc brakes. Also ended up replacing the sway bar end link bushings because those were totally shot. We did get the drive shaft U-joints replaced as well. Put that back together with the transmission, everything's all good. So we're getting super close. I mean, like, making some good progress. As you can see, the brake situation ended up pretty good. Everything looks great. I did forget to grease this and put a copper crush washer on there, which I don't know how important that is, but I'm gonna take it off and do it just because the instruction said to do it. Gotta do that. Yeah, but everything looks good, spins nice. You know, I torqued everything to spec. What it's supposed to be. Also, we're repainted in here for the most part. Gonna replace the shocks eventually. Might do the front springs as well. Gonna do a Shelby drop. So in the next video, I'm also gonna be replacing the dual bowl master cylinder. That really needs to be done, obviously with the brakes, because right now it's a single bowl and I can't even get the top off a single bowl. So I'm gonna pop in the dual bowl master cylinder that came with this brake kit from Open Tracker Racing. I can't recommend them enough. John over at Open Tracker Racing has like helped me so much. He's called me several times just to like talk through things. Not even trying to sell me anything from them, but just to talk through like how to do things with the vintage cars and like suspension and brakes and all of that. He's just answered all my questions. I highly recommend using them for suspension parts and things like that if you can afford it. There are less expensive places to get stuff, but I know that their stuff is pretty high quality. He'll answer questions. Whether you buy something from John or not, he will hop on the phone with you and talk you through it. So yeah, super nice guy, super helpful company. Highly recommend them. Thanks for tuning in. So go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also set your bell notifications so you're notified every time I post a new video. So stay tuned for more videos and thank you all for tuning in. All right, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.